I'm recruiting for my band.
Okay. Coming up, Duke Eatmon.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. And little man, little Lola wants you. Make up your mind to have no regrets. Decline yourself or resign yourself, you're through. I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Take off your coat, don't you know you can't win? You'll never win. There's no exception to the rule. I'm irresistible, you fool. Giving, you'll never win. Giving, you'll never win. I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Take off your coat, don't you know you can't win? There's no exception to the rule. I'm irresistible, you fool. Giving, you'll never win. Oh, giving, you'll never win. Oh, giving, you'll never win. Giving.
Duke Eatmon.
Montreal's own Kimberley Beyea Quartet. That one's called Whatever Lola Wants. Big smash hit for the legendary late great Sarah Vaughan back in the day. The name of the album is called Memories of Sarah. It's somewhat of a tribute to the legendary Sarah Vaughan. What a few interesting personal pieces, the original songs that B.A. wrote as well. Interesting story. Interesting show she's got coming up. I'm going to tell you all about that when I return as we review Montreal's own Kimberley Beyea Quartet and the album Memories of Sarah.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Duke.
The city of
I'm
Montreal.
Sue Smith. Nice to have you with us. Coming up in this half hour, Duke Eatmon is going to bring us some music, kind of like a cover of Sarah Vaughan, a local Montreal act, which is making a tribute to the famous singer, and we'll be hearing some of that coming up. We'll also check in with your business desk. And Olos.
The evening breeze caress the trees so tenderly. The trembling trees embrace the breeze so recklessly. Then you and I came wandering by and lost in sight. The shore was kissed
Duke Eatmon.
Montreal's own Kimberley Beyea with the Kim Beyea Quartet. That track is called Tenderly. It's from the album Memories of Sarah, a tribute to the legendary Sarah Vaughan. And I had the opportunity to speak to Kimberley earlier this week, and she shared with me that Tenderly was the song that Sarah Vaughan sang, and I believe it may have been at the Apollo Amateur Night, where she won first place, and that basically spearheaded and kickstarted her whole career. So she decided to do mainly songs from Sarah Vaughan, a couple of self-penned songs that she put in there as well. At the top of the hour, we heard Whatever Lola Wants, which was a big, big song for Sarah Vaughan back in the day as well. But Kimberley Beyea, very interesting artist. Now, I featured her last year. I don't know if you remember. This was, my daughter was part of a project when she was just finishing up CJEP at John Abbott, and she was interviewing people on the street as part of a film project saying, what would you like to have happen today to make your day a good day? And she caught this young lady coming in and out of like restaurants and bars and stuff, and she said, to get a gig, haven't had a gig in the longest time.
Really?
And she said, well, you know, my dad, you know, he does this show on CBC, you know, with Sue Smith, and yada yada, and put us in contact. And of course, we featured her with her album that had come out last year. This is the new album. And something interesting happened as well. You remember we had all that camera crew in here. They were doing this thing on me, which is actually going to be released next week.
Oh.
Montreal Mavens. It was like
You're just throwing that in?
a 2-day documentary on me. And I had contacted her for the second day of shooting, which was to feature so much of the talent that I featured here for live performances at my house. Kind of like what, you know, Hall & Oates do, you know, and those performances in the living room. And of course, she showed up with her husband, Andrew, who's also her producer as well, and guitar player. And she also plays flute. And she did some live performances at my home along with some other very talented musicians. The interesting thing about it is that just previous to that, the previous week, her father had passed away on February 21st, and she really had to think long and hard. I mean, this was like less than a week before the taping was to take place, and she decided to go ahead with the performance at my place for the documentary because she said her dad was her biggest supporter, and he would have wanted her to do it. And she just brought the house down with some beautiful, beautiful music. And now she's getting ready with her new band. Now, she plays in a whole bunch of different conceptual bands. She plays in a trio. She plays in a Latin jazz band, quartet. She does whatever the music requires, whatever the gig requires. So there's a lot of different versions of her band.
You're a working musician in Montreal. That's what you
have no choice. She's joined by William Regnier on drums, Matthew Cabana on bass, Barry Turner on guitar, and of course she plays flute and sings as well. Her husband Andrew Cabana also joins her at times, and he also produced this album. We're going to hear another track. This is one of the original ones, named after her daughter Ainsley. It's called Ainsley's Bounce, and this one really swings.
A little bit of Ainsley's Bounce.
Highlighting some of the talents of her quartet as well as her incredible flute playing. Now, she's got some interesting gigs coming up. Check this out. On June 18th, she's going to be appearing at Chien Bleu in Pincourt, you know, the big high school out there. It's called a bicycle rally. And It starts at midnight and goes till 4 a.m. There's going to be 1,200 cyclists, food trucks, live music, games, and it's from midnight to 4 a.m. Now, I live in Pierrefonds, right? Like, you know, we'd get arrested trying to do something like that. So they're pretty liberal up in Paincourt. I definitely want to check that out. And, of course, on August 14th, the big Rib Fest in Pierrefonds, which is usually a big thing. She's going to be performing there as well. So sharing her talents with the world. The name of the album is called Memories of Sarah, the Kimberley Beyea Quartet. I'm going to go out with another original piece that she wrote. I'd say about 3/4 of the songs were Sarah Vaughan hits, and then about 1/4 of the album is original songs. This one's called Love is Divine, and Love is Truly Divine. The Kimberley Beyea Quartet. We're going to tweet. We're doing the Twitter thing still,
We're
right?
doing the Twitter
So we're going to
thing.
tweet her website, right?
Definitely.
We'll tweet that out because it's got a lot of great info, and you can order the album there as well.
Wonderful.
All right, this one's called Love is Divine, playing the Rib Fest and the big cyclist rally kicking off at midnight in Paincourt. You going to join us?
Cycling at midnight?
Well, no, you don't have to cycle. Like, there's a lot of cyclists there, but there's food trucks, there's live music. She's going to be there singing.
For
there's
sure.
games.
From midnight to 4. That's just
Who does
right up my
anything
alley.
that starts at midnight till
Duke?
4 a.m.?
You going to be there?
Well, I've never been anything like that. Of course I got to
You
be
go
there.
first.
All right.
Come along and listen to my story. What a lovely little ditty to sing. A song about love, trust and understanding. These are my vows, oh, I'm happy to tell. About a man who truly loves a woman. He holds her tight, she counts her blessings each night. Oh, we're broke, you know that is worth it. Oh, our love is divine. And my heart beats next to your body. Oh, you got me under your spell. And your sweet love tastes just of honey. You rapture me up in your arms. What's give you your tender kisses as they carry me through the night. The waves crash over our bodies until the morning light. There's my tale.
Love is Divine. That is the Kimberley Beyea Quartet. And that is Duke's pick for this week.